And it's really going to hurt him. As we said, Knockhill can be very cruel. Paul O'Neill getting very stuck in here with Aaron Smith. They're side by side. Paul O'Neill's on the inside, but his car is it. He's going to have the inside, I think. He's got one of the BMs right behind him as well. And sliding up the inside, Matt Neal as well, as they all go into that corner so tight.
The battle for third now taken by Matt Neal ahead of Andrew Jordan. Battle for fifth from Paul O'Neill, but Aaron Smith is pushing, and that gives an opportunity for Foster, who hits the back of Aaron Smith, who keeps it all sideways, and that's put Gordon Shedden on the grass, and his radiator will be full of grass. Will that overheat the turbo intercooler? Yeah, that looks very bad for Gordon Shedden. He's definitely got caught up behind those three as they all ran into each other. Perhaps he could have, well, I think the down for that car will make it with all those radiators full of muck. It's just like, you know, on Rally Sweden, when the rally cars get their front of the car full up with snow, the engine just goes ping, straight up to overheating. Let's see how the engine temperatures look from Gordon Shedden. Here's a replay.
Well, here's a replay. We're down at Scotsman. We're on board with Shedden. And as you can see, Aaron Smith, well, down the inside goes Foster, puts Smith sideways. Shedden has no choice but to take the direct route across the grass. Oh my goodness, this car's coming at you from all angles. It's like a dogfight.
It is. It's race 3. So then, there is Matt Neal. He's in third, still Jordan in fourth, and Paul O'Neill has really closed the gap on the two Hondas in front of him with his Speedworks Toyota. Christian Dick has been nervous all day, and he said he's had to apologise to his mechanics. He's been so nervous about things, but he's had a great day sport here at Knockhill. There's your leader, Dave Newsham, running away with this race. What is his lead after this fastest lap of the race, a 53.7? It's 4.2 seconds his advantage. Still Jeff Smith in second. This is the battle for third, fourth, fifth and sixth position. Aaron Smith now goes through, taking a position away from Paul O'Neill. Smith now fifth. On his shed coming in to get that earth away from the intercooler, to let the engine get some cooling in. All hands on deck, three mechanics in there, and Gordon Shedden can feel his championship lead slipping away.
Well, it just ebbs and flows, doesn't it, between these top three drivers. Plato's had a bad day, you know, for all the complaints about turbo boosts and everything else. It's going to be Shedden and Matt Neal who go away from this weekend. Well, Shedden was up, now Matt Neal's going to be up. Hondas are still going to be at the top of the list.
Fastest man last lap was Aaron Smith, a 53.5, little slower this afternoon than we saw earlier today. Fastest man on that last lap was Tom Onslow Cole at the top of your shot in 8th position, a 53.3. So it's not only, I won't say it's getting drier, Tim, there's more heat getting in the tyres, and there's more confidence as the championship leader retires out of this race. The hometown hero gets out of the car, and Gordon Shedden had no option at all but to take to the grass with that incident that unfurled in front of him. What luck does he need to get here at Knockhill?
Well, he needs something. He had a great second race, obviously, but couldn't get three good bites of the cherry, or get 3 cherries if you're playing the fruit machine. What you need to do is keep this championship going, and Matt Neal's the one that's going to take points if he can out of this race. We saw the leader Newsham behind Andy Neat. It looked like Andy Neat was holding him up, but Newsham's got a comfortable 4.2 second lead at the moment.
Matt Neal still goes over the line in third. Fourth is Jordan in the blue Pertec Honda. Aaron Smith, former fastest lap holder around here. He's in that Redstone Ford Focus. And Paul O'Neill right on his tail in 6th. Great weekend for Paul O'Neill. He's loving being back in a racing car. He's got some speed there as he rattles it down to Clark's through the over the top of the hill at the chicane. And Tom Onslow Cole, that 53.3 fastest lap of the race on the last lap. Again, Tom Onslow Cole putting in a quick lap. He's now right on the tail of his teammate, Nick Foster. What of Rob Collard, the victor of the first 2 races here? Well, he's in 10th at the moment.
Yeah, it's a great man. Paul O'Neill really has driven well this weekend, hasn't he? He's been one of the stars of the weekend. Just great overtaking, great speed. And I'm sure the Speedworks boys would love to keep him in the car for the rest of the year.
We'll see what happens when we go to Rockingham. That's our next British Touring Car Weekend on September the 22nd and 23rd. Paul O'Neill tries to replicate the two-wheel run over the top of the hill. He said he had to turn the steering left to get the thing back all on four wheels.
Let's give credit to Jeff Smith, though, in second place. He's running really, really well. This is a great result at the moment for Jeff Smith, holding a good second place. There's your leader, Newsham. There's Smith with championship leader Matt Neal closing him down. Remember, they're in identical cars.
It'll be the new championship leader, Matt Neal, by the time the flag comes out. Dave Newsham's lost a little bit of an advantage to Jeff Smith there with his 2012 Honda as he goes through your shot there. Slicks all round for all of these guys. The rain hasn't appeared as we are coming up to the halfway point in this third and final British Touring Car race of the day. It's gone very dark, it's gone very cold here in the last hour and a half or so. There is rain in the distance, but that is probably 10-15 miles away, way away. It looks as if we might just get away with it by the time the checkered flag comes out. However, you never know. It's Knockhill.
It is Knockhill, but the NGTC cars are finding their feet, finding their speed, and Newsham, well, he gets into the 53s on that lap, just the 53.9, but the cars behind all doing 53 6s and 5s, so 3 to 4 tenths of a second quicker. And without Andrew Jordan setting his personal fastest lap, Jeff Smith his personal fastest lap, O'Neill and Fosterman setting their fastest laps on that last lap. So Newsham's going to have a tough job to hang on to this race.
Because we're now, as they cut through the grass, we're now coming into the part of the race where the S2000 narrower tyres might be drifting away.
Well, either that or Newsham is controlling and looking after his tyres at this point in the race. He is a very, very good race driver in the lead, so it may be possible that he's just looking after them. Looks like a bit of understeer in the car there as he goes through, but he looks very calm behind the wheel, just checking his mirrors as he comes up the straight. Hopefully he's managing the gap. Now that's the line I was talking about, where he pulls sharply into the pit lane exit to get a wider line into turn one, the Seat S's. So he's really exploiting every inch of the track here, and I think that's a very good line through there from Newsham.
There you have a perfect illustration. First, Newsham. Second, the blue Honda being chased down by Matt Neal. Matt Neal doing a similar lap time to Jeff Smith, but just a smidge quicker. Can Matt Neal reel in and get past the number 55 of Jeff Smith? Last lap difference, well, yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong column. Half a second difference. So there will be an opportunity for Matt to have a look as we are coming up to the halfway point in this third and final race. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh position, all in shot as they climb the hill, go under the bridge, past our commentary position, rushing past. Andrew Jordan still got the hammer down there. Jordan in that fourth position behind the Yuasa Honda there of the reigning champion with the number one on the side of his car and the three-time British Touring Car champion, Matt Neal.
Well, it's curious that Neal hasn't been able to close down on Jeff Smith because they're both running with zero ballast, but here's a manoeuvre from Daniel Welch on the inside of Nick Wood. Gets through cleanly on the inside, but then a little bit of squeezing on the outside, but that's a clean pass. But as I say that, Matt Neal does close up a little bit more behind Jeff Smith, but neither of these cars carrying any ballast, both identical cars. You'd think Neal would be able to pass a little, put the pressure on earlier.
So the gap is 2.6 seconds, Newsham to Smith. Closing. Last lap from Newsham, a 54.1, Smith a 53.9, Neal a 53.6.
That's half a second quicker than the leader, Newsham.
Half a second. Matt Neal is 3 seconds off the lead, and we've got more than 6 laps remaining.
We certainly have. There's certainly time, isn't there? If it is that Newsham has not got any more pace, I think he's managing this race. I think he's really doing a good job of managing the gap.
He had to manage the gap when he was at Snetterton. He had to keep a cool head, and it's the old adage, getting the first British Touring Car victory and the monkey off your back.
Yeah, Onslow Cole's received the black and white warning flag. I had noticed earlier, that's Onslow Cole. He does take an awful lot of curb at the chicane, and I should think it's for that he's been warned.
Well, he showed me a picture on his mobile phone this morning of him crossing the white line during practice yesterday, but he said, I was airborne. I didn't touch the grass. What's the problem?
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah, over or touching, who knows? Yeah. But we may well have joked about that. Second, third, fourth position. Go through your shot there. Well, it's Honda's all the way there. Unfortunately for the Scottish crowd, an enormous crowd that we've got here today. No Gordon Shedden after having to take avoiding action after a half spin of Aaron Smith in front of him. Shedden had to take to the grass. The front of the radiator got blocked up with mud and earth, and the engine temperature went sky high. Right then, all three eBay BMWs here. That's Onslow Cole putting a manoeuvre on Nick Foster. Adam Morgan, he had some brake issues in race 2, like he didn't have any, so he had to retire. And Morgan at the moment in 9th place as the very muddy Rob Collard car is on his tail in 10th place. Matt Jackson right behind him. Matt having cured the broken exhaust that was filling the car full of fumes, nasty fumes at that, in that second race. So Tom Onslow Cole decides to take a little bit less curb and try to keep some rubber on terra firma as he crests the hill through the chicane there. Onslow Cole, he's now 7th.
Well, Newsham is passing Chris James, who has dropped to the back. Now, Chris James could do his teammate a big favour if he just holds the cars up a little. He shouldn't, because he'll be blue flagged because he's being lapped, but he could do him a little favour.
Newsham with the 17, Chris James with the 78. The two ESRacing.com cars rush down the hill for the 17th time. Now then, it's a 2.4 second gap for Newsham to the second place man, Jeff Smith. Closed a little by Smith on the last lap, but will it be enough with these remaining 1.3 mile laps that we've got here at Knockhill? It's going to be close, but I think Newsham might just get it.
I think Newsham's controlling it. We did obviously see Onslow Cole pass Nick Foster, so he's got through now. The dirty BMW is Onslow Cole. Here we get another dirty one. Actually, Collard's got grubby as well. He's looking for a run up the inside of Morgan, but and he's obviously, Morgan may be concerned about his brakes. He's had a couple of problems already this weekend, but Collard's not going to get through on the outside. He'll just get pushed wide, and Jackson will go through.
Matt Jackson with the Ford Focus. He's got the run on Collard. Adam Morgan sees him coming. He says, you're not going to get through there. He gives him just a little bit of space. Matt Jackson, two-time winner already this year, decides that he doesn't want to risk it too much as he comes through the first corner. So Matt Jackson over the line in 10th position.
Yeah, Matt Jackson suffering no real ill effects of that smoke inhalation from the second race. Although, to be fair to him, he didn't want to stop. He really didn't want to stop. But Chris James getting out of the way. Yeah, he's got out of the way. That's good driving by Chris. But just to go back to Matt Jackson, a real man's performance. The team called him in, but he said, no, I'm sure I can make it these last 5 laps. But he was ordered to stop, and I think that was the right thing to do so that he didn't suffer any ill health and could take part in this last race.
Okay then, now the lights are on the front of Matt Neal's Honda to see if he can get past Jeff Smith. There goes TOC past Paul O'Neill, so Tom Onslow Cole now to 6th position, and he's the leading BMW in this race. Rob Collard really struggling with the 45 kilos that he's had to carry in this third and final race here at Knockhill.
Yeah, don't forget though, he did win the race with 36 kilos in race 2, so not a lot more weight, but enough obviously to make a difference. Sometimes there's a tipping point. He's got some damage on the left side front, so maybe he's had some contact as well.
There goes Collard. Meanwhile, Tom Onslow Cole tucked into that 6th position. Oh, there's a near touch there from Nick Foster. Blue to blue. They might have just got away with that as the laps tick away. We now start lap 20 of 24. Newsham still his advantage, 2.3 seconds. Smith, Neal, Jordan might just run out of laps if they're going to catch the yellow Vauxhall Vectra.
I say again, a great performance by Jeff Smith. You know, he's probably the least experienced. He was certainly the least experienced of the 4 NGTC powered Hondas.